Meantime, Samsung has stopped shipments of its latest smartphone, the Galaxy Note 7. It was just launched 2 weeks ago. The move reportedly brought on over safety concerns. Several videos and images of charred phones like that one have been surfacing online. This one, by the way, posted on YouTube by Ariel Gonzalez, shows the reported aftermath of one incident where the battery started burning after he charged it, using a Samsung charger, by the way.
Well, this is coming at a time when Apple is about a week away from launching its latest version of the iPhone. Joining us with their take on this matter, Dan Ackerman from CNET and Brian White here at Post 9 from Drexel Hamilton. Brian, we had just been saying the buzz around this Samsung phone was great. Meanwhile, for Apple, it's been quieter. We know they're not going to be maybe dazzling us till next time around. Does this change that whole narrative now?
Well, it's definitely going to provide good fodder next week at the iPhone 7 event, and I think it will help on the higher end, the iPhone 7 Plus, because the Note is a higher end product for sure. So,
Dan, what do you make of it? I mean, you're a fan of the Note 7. A lot of people are. It's got great reviews, but how much of a black eye will this be with the battery problem?
Yeah, it's really the one phone everyone is buzzing about this year. I've got one right here. You can see the screen goes right to the edge. It's really a very forward-looking design. You couldn't write this better if you were turning this into a movie. Samsung finally has a phone that everyone is very excited about, comes out about 2 weeks before Apple has a phone that people are not that excited about because we kind of know what all the features are already. And then as soon as it seems like everyone's going, I guess I'll get the Note 7 instead, they start catching on fire. You could not have worse possible timing.
Although, just like as when we've reported on Teslas that catch fire, you say, yeah, well, there's a lot of automobiles catching fire we don't report on. It's just that you tend to over-report on ones that are more high profile. Is that happening here, Brian, as well?
It's definitely happening. I think one of the issues that Samsung has, there's always been a knock on quality. And I think this kind of feeds into that narrative. What does Apple always say? Our North Star is making very high quality products, making great products, and that feeds into what Apple always does.
Do you agree, Dan?
Well, at the same time, Apple just got involved in a lawsuit this week where people complaining about screen defects on the 6S Plus phone. And remember AntennaGate, they had a phone that was clearly not designed well. So I think you have these problems all over the place, but with the case of these Samsung fires, it's very visual. People take a picture, they put it on YouTube, they take a video, that spreads virally very quickly. So a couple of cases can have a huge impact.
Dan, let me bring up Kelly's question that she brought up before. Are we overdoing this by over-magnifying a few incidents when you consider the number of phones that are actually out there right now?
I'd say, considering this phone just shipped like 2 weeks ago, and there's already at least 5 or 6 cases of people talking about fires, and Samsung has already said they're stopping shipments in South Korea, and that may spread throughout the world. I don't think we're making too much of it because clearly the company is reacting to it very quickly and saying we're not going to ship these phones until we see what happens.
And a lot will depend on how quickly they can move that production process along. Brian, in the meantime, ahead of the event next week, you're still positive, still bullish on Apple.
Yeah, I look at Apple here, it's like the Jason Bourne of the tech world. I mean, the FBI's been after them. China government shut down their iTunes movies and books. You've got EU going after on taxes. The short seller is chasing them all year. It's very similar to 2013. So I think this is a bottoming process. You've got iPhone cycle bottomed in the March quarter. You've got sales and profit cycle bottomed in the June quarter. You got a stock that trades at less than 9 times X cash. We are aggressive buyers of Apple.
All right, but Brian, here's the question. I know we got to go here, but I just spent the week on the beach with a bunch of friends, and one of them is dying to get replace his Apple phone, and he's wondering, do I buy this one next week that we know what's in there, like Dan was saying, or do I wait for the big one next year, the 10th anniversary? Isn't that what people are going to be worrying about right now?
You're going to see a lot of people maybe try to stretch that phone.
There's a lot of people that upgraded, with the iPhone 6 in September 2014, so they're going to be up on contract. So I think there's going to be a nice upgrade cycle. It will turn to Apple to growth. It's not a game changer, but next year it's going to continue. So you got a great cycle going for Apple.
And what were you going to say, Dan?
Yeah, I was saying a lot of people are going to wait till next year. They're going to stretch that phone 3 years, especially because those 2-year contracts are going away, and everyone has to pay kind of the street price for the phone now, $700, $800, $900. They're not getting those $200 subsidized prices anymore.
Hey CNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Here you're going to find videos packed with all of the information that you need to be smarter about your finances. You can subscribe by clicking right here and click on all the videos around me or the eye right here to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.